three-point shooting is going to be key. We've talked about it. They've made 4 3-pointers tonight. Cleveland State's made 2. The Vikings have got to be aware of that, but they've also had some good drives to the basket.
Yeah, surprisingly, they've converted at the basket more than they're normally doing. And first play of the second half is always a play for establishing momentum.
How'd you miss most of that first half with 2 fouls back out there? He has the basketball, will shoot the jumper from 15 and missed it long. And the rebound's collected by Carl. So it's Planutis, Godfrey, Carl, Billups, and Pipkins for Purdue-Fort Wayne. For CSU, Baudouin, Gomillion, Patton, Johnson, and Hodge.
It's going to be interesting to see if Hodge can get going. It allowed, with him being out of the game, allowed Kaufman to play a lot of 2-3 zone in that first half.
Foul on Gomillion. We're putting 2 hands on Billups for Trey Gomillion. That is foul number 1 tonight. First foul of the second half against Eastside. Not a lot of fouls tonight. 5 now against Cleveland State. 3 of them all against Purdue-Fort Wayne.
Stuck the forearm out a little bit there. A little late on the closeout.
Man-to-man D for the Vikings here to open the second half. Godfrey with the basketball. Well, the Vikings have been able to hold Godfrey and Pipkins so far. Billups couldn't get that one. Spider Johnson got the rebound, and he's fouled as well. And Dylan Carl just picked up his 3rd personal foul. So Purdue-Fort Wayne for today's game has been called for 4 fouls. Carl has 3 of them.
It's a cheap one too. You know, you want to be aggressive, but you have to be smart. If you're in foul trouble in the first half, you got to be smart early on. And we'll see how that affects the rebounding picture for the Vikings.
So Johnson checks out, Eichelberger in. Vikings down by a point. Baudouin, the basketball in the front court. Using the Eichelberger screen. Got to the basket, couldn't finish. Rebound kept alive by Eichelberger. Got it somehow. Now he's looking for help. Dribbled it off his foot, though, to Godfrey. 2-on-1. Pipkins. Got it to go somehow. I don't know if that's the way they drew it up. But Pipkins got the bucket. He has 4, and Purdue-Fort Wayne matches their largest lead of 3. In what appears to be a low-scoring affair here tonight throughout. Foul off the ball. On Purdue-Fort Wayne, there's a hold.
Well,
the guilty party here is Rob Petty.
The Vikings are going to have to get somebody that's going to step up and hit a couple threes, because Purdue-Fort Wayne is closing out on the right guys and also sagging off of the right guys. Now that's a great play there.
There's Hodge, who got free for his first 2 today. He had the career-high 46, 3 shy of a school record against Purdue-Fort Wayne back in December. It's a 1-point lead for the Mastodons. We played over a minute and a half here in the second half in Cleveland at the Wolstein Center tonight. Horizon League Tournament basketball, quarterfinal round. Godfrey on the fadeaway from 15 is right there. Godfrey just 2 of 8 from the field, but he got that little opening and drained it.
Smartly using his teammates to just get to the spot he wanted to get to.
Eichelberger with a good strong drive to the basket. He's got no problem going to that off left hand. Does it quite a bit. He's got 4 points. Again, it's a 1-point lead for the Mastodons.
And Al was, one of the top players in the league last year. He's battled injuries this year. But
Godfrey with a nice strong drive to the basket using his left. And then Purdue-Fort Wayne wants a timeout. So we'll take a break as well. So Purdue-Fort Wayne with some momentum, and they call time. 34-31. Mastodons lead the Vikings here tonight in Cleveland with 7:39 left in regulation here at the Wolstein Center.
When we say crispy, juicy, tender, this is the juicy and tender. And this is the crispy. Introducing McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwiches. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Spring driving is here, and the countdown to luxury has begun at your local Cadillac showroom. Experience the iconic style and bold performance in a Cadillac sedan. Reward yourself, then move up to a Cadillac.
Get 0.9% APR for 72 months plus $1,000 purchase allowance on a 2021 Cadillac CT4 and CT5. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get an additional $750 purchase allowance.
I can't help it if I'm popping, see them watch like it's outrageous how this flavor got
Limitless possibilities. The boldly new 2021 Nissan Kicks.
You've got big plans for your small business. And Constant Contact has everything you need to connect with customers, find new ones, and sell more of your awesome stuff online. With email marketing, online stores, and more to help you do more business anytime, anywhere. So you can keep powering on without slowing down. Up top, power on with Constant Contact. Try it free today.
Look, show up.
That
Back
was
out,
a
roll
ball.
up.
Oh my goodness.
Roll up. We're supreme, see what I mean.
This is Jim. He's working from home while keeping an eye on the kids, and he still had time to start his own bracket group. What's your excuse? Sign up at espn.com/bracket and start your group today.
Back here in Cleveland, PurdueFortWayne is up by 3. Jared Godfrey getting going. He's got the last 2 field goals for the Mastodons. 6 points for the game. 3 of 9 from the field. A little soft jumper, nice drive to the basket. Jared Godfrey, an all-Horizon League player. He came in averaging 16. And if PurdueFortWayne gets him going in a game like this, where it appears to be low scoring for the entire way, has been thus far, that's going to be important.
And here's why Coach Kaufman called the timeout. He's now switched it with 2-2-1. Just to, again, to make the tempo change up a little bit, keep Cleveland State off their rhythm.
Baudouin, Gomillion, Eichelberger, Patton, and Hodge on the floor for CSU. Planutis, Godfrey, Petty, Billups, and Pipkins for PurdueFortWayne. Here's Eichelberger in the lane. Baudouin open from the corner for 3. Ties the game as he knocks that one down. His second three-pointer today. He's got a game-high 10.
Tell you, Al Eichelberger is playing really well for the Vikings. Just the way he moved the ball there.
Now the Vikings switch to a tandem 2-3.
They're actually in a it's a 1-3-1.
Here's Pipkins. And a knockaway by Hodge. He's got those quick hands and a break. Hodge in front of the crowd to the basket. Didn't get it. Gomillion did and drew the foul. So Trey Gomillion, the one-hand rebound and putback attempt. You see Baudouin sink that triple.
Yeah, excellent kick out by Eichelberger to feel the defense and get it to him in rhythm. And this guy, just Mr. Hustle for the Vikings, followed up Hodge's miss. And he actually held the defender off with one hand and grabbed the ball with the other and put it up and still drew the foul.
And he sinks the first free throw here. Cleveland State has taken only 3 free throws tonight, and Gomillion's attempted all of them. He's 2 of 3 at the stripe. He's got 6 points. Vikings back up by a point. That last foul was on Pipkins first.
Look at the look on Coach Gay's face. He's fired up now. I imagine they're going to stay in that 1-3-1, and yes, they are.
Well, the Vikings have scored the last 5 points to retake the lead by 2. They've never led it by more than 4. PurdueFortWayne's largest lead has been 3. This is a new wrinkle. They haven't shown this against PurdueFortWayne this year. Billups knocks it down from the corner. His third three-pointer. He's been the X factor today with 9 points.
That was a big play.
37-36. PurdueFortWayne by 1 as both teams starting to heat up a little bit now from the outside. Here's Patton in the lane. The one-handed push shot on the rim and in. Torrey Patton with 10. And that one-handed push shot from the lane, that's been his trademark all season long. Vikings back up by 1. Here's Godfrey. Cut off on the baseline. Billups couldn't knock down his 4th triple. Bodo on the rebound. Vikings trying to run. Patton lost the handle. Now it's Godfrey. He'll counter. And Hodge blocked the shot, but they'll say he got a piece of Godfrey as well. That'll be the 3rd foul on Demoy Hodge, and he's been in foul trouble tonight. He's in disagreement. Perhaps we'll see a replay when we come back. Timeout on the floor. There's the replay right there. Well, Cleveland State's up by a point. The free throw's coming for the Mastodons when we return.
You can tell this is really crispy, juicy, and tender because we wouldn't take the time to butter all these potato buns if it wasn't worth it. Introducing McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwiches.
It was never about the gold. It was always about the goals. And I didn't reach him just by training my body, but my mind as well. So close your eyes. Visualize all the ways you could break through. Then, imagine everything that could go wrong. A false start, a bad turn, broken goggles. Now picture yourself staying calm and overcoming every obstacle. Open your eyes. train what's under the armor.
I'm a Verizon engineer. We built our 5G nationwide so millions of people could do what they love in Verizon 5G quality. And in parts of many cities, we have ultra wideband, the fastest 5G in the world. This is 5G built right, only from Verizon.
This is a color laser printer, and this is the color toner cartridge. They're so expensive, people just print in black and white so they don't have to keep buying them. Walk with me. That's enough. The Epson EcoTank cartridge-free printer. Big ink tanks, lots of ink, and you can save a ridiculous amount on replacement ink. Print and color, all you want, without busting your budget. But you might be busting the move. The Epson EcoTank, just fill and chill. Available at...
Spring driving is here, and the countdown to luxury has begun at your local Cadillac showroom. Experience the iconic style and bold performance in a Cadillac sedan. Reward yourself, then move up to a Cadillac.
Get 0.9% APR for 72 months plus $1,000 purchase allowance on a 2021 Cadillac CT4 and CT5. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get an additional $750 purchase allowance.
Back here at the Wolstein Center, let's take a look at this last run out by Godfrey. Now watch Hodge come over. He was called for the foul. It appeared, Pat, to be a clean block.
It's pretty close. Hand is part of the ball, too. A lot of people don't realize that's actually a rule. But let's see from this angle. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell. And, you know, when you're an official, you're down on the floor and that thing's going 100 miles per hour like that, you know, you're doing the best you can. Officials are taught to watch the defender. But, you know, when it's going that fast and that high, it's hard. Sometimes they're shielded off by the backboard, too.
There's Jared Godfrey for his first free throws of the evening. A very strong free throw shooter, 83%. Purdue-Fort-Wayne 4 of 4 from the stripe tonight.
You jinxed him, Al. You did it.
Didn't mean to. 38-37.
Never fails,
Cleveland
does
State.
it? Does it ever fail?
58. Well,
you praise a guy.
We've been talking about Godfrey and what a good shooter he is and what a good shooter Planutis is at the line. Pipkins as well. They're just very strong free throw shooters as he split the pair. So 7 for Godfrey. Tied once again here in Cleveland. And we've seen a lot of ties and lead changes. And tonight, even though Cleveland State's led for nearly 15 minutes and Purdue-Fort-Wayne for only 5, this game has been close throughout. Hodge, the quick trigger 3 right there for Des Moines. He's got 5 all in the second half.
Didn't I tell you, Al? He's going to be the key for the Vikes. He'll loosen up that defense, and they'll think twice about going into that zone.
Here's Godfrey, who's heating up down the lane, got to the rack, missed the layup, however. Petty the rebound. Couldn't get the putback, and Hodge.
Oh, that's a key.
It's the rebound. Yeah, Fort Wayne had a couple of layup opportunities, couldn't convert. Eichelberger in the lane, finds Gomillion. Tried the kick out to Baudouin, but read extremely well by Godfrey. The steal, the long ball. Hodge knocks it away. He's so quick defensively.
Hey, maybe the Browns can use him in the defensive backfield next year. We pick that one up.
I have no doubt he would be a good defensive back in football, no question. Here's Eichelberger, the fade from 5, right there for Big Al.
Well.
The little fake and the fall away. He's got 6.
He's doing
Cleveland State, their largest lead of 5.
He's doing a little bit of everything well right now. Passing, rebounding, hitting little fadeaways. Dirk Nowitzki-like.
Horton for 3. And Purdue-Fort-Wayne has had an answer each time Cleveland State has looked to build a lead and push it out there. And Purdue-Fort-Wayne, their 7th three-pointer tonight.
You just can't let those guys spot up. You have to close out on them hard and make them put it on the floor to beat them, or they'll beat you.
Horton with 5 points. Scoring's been spread out. Nobody with more than 9. Phillips has for Purdue-Fort-Wayne. Here's Baudouin down the lane with the left-handed shot, and he scores. 12 for Baudouin to lead all scorers. Cleveland State by 4. Both teams shooting much better in the second half than the first. Both teams over 50% in the second half.
And everything's running through Al Eichelberger in the low post right now. He's done so much with his passing as much as anything out there.
There's Pipkins. Godfrey for 3 from that corner. Missed it long. Hodge the rebound for Cleveland State. Hodge trying to run. Hodge going to the rack. He got there with a quick move. Des Moines Hodge flashing the quickness. He's got 7 all in the second half. Timeout Mastodons with 13:41 to go. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. Cleveland State 47, Purdue-Fort-Wayne 41. It's a 6-point lead for Cleveland State. as the Vikings are getting D'Moy Hodge going. He didn't score anything in the first half, said most of it in foul trouble, but he has 7 here in the second. He's been the key along with Eichelberger.
Yeah, he hit the one shot that got him going, felt good about it, and now he's in more aggressive mode. Al Eichelberger, I want to go back to him. You know, the ball's going into him in the low post. He's measuring his guy. Looks, that's a really beautiful move right there, a little shimmy move to the left.
Looked like Larry Bird on that.
It really
fadeaway,
was. That's a Bird, you know, Dirk Nowitzki turnaround fade there. But he's doing more than just scoring. He's getting the ball in the post, and he's finding he found Hodge in the opposite wing for the 3 that he hit, and he found Baudouin cutting to the basket. So he's doing a little bit of everything. Well, and that's what you want out of your senior, right? That's why he's getting those minutes down the stretch.
And even though he's coming off the bench, he's been dealing with injuries all season. He's really another starter. So he's on the floor with Hodge, Gomillion, Baudouin, and Patton as Gates is riding that starting 5 type. Here's D'Moy Hodge. Look at this great move.
Inside-out dribble, right to the rack.
So the Vikings by 6, but Purdue-Fort Wayne has shot the ball well in the second half. Will they have an answer here to stop this Vikings run? This is Horton with the basketball. Shuffled the shoes a little bit, but found Planutis on the reverse. And Bobby Planutis has 9. So Purdue-Fort Wayne does have an answer. Once again, the Viking lead back down to 4.
Yep. Most of the game of basketball against opponents that are fairly even, the game will be played about even until one team gets a run.
There's Big Al down low off a great feed from Gomillion. Eichelberger with 8. 49-43, second half completely different than the first. Both teams struggled from the field in the first half. In the second, neither team is struggling. Here's Godfrey. Billups to the rack. He scores with the right hand from the left side. Billups with 11. He leads the Mastodons tonight. Billups came in averaging 8 points, and he has kept the Mastodons close.
Coach Gates will live with giving those up occasionally. He'd rather give those up than 3s for the Mastodons because he knows that's not their strength, and most likely they won't get that type of shot down the stretch.
Eichelberger, the double team, and he was grabbed as he tried to get that pass away. I believe that's going to be on Dylan Carl. Let's see. Yep, that's his 4th personal foul. He's the only player for Purdue-Fort Wayne in foul trouble. He's got 4. So what happened here?
Yeah, well, they recognize that he's the guy that's making it all happen for the Vikings, so they double team him. He keeps the ball moving, he lifts it, and he steps through and draws the foul. Veteran play.
So he'll check out along with Planutis and Godfrey. 3 subs coming in. Walker, Petty, and Horton. Hodge, the quick trigger on the triple. Couldn't get it. Pipkins the rebound. 4-point lead for the Vikings. Long ball ahead. Tough one for Billups. He couldn't make the catch and save it. And Cleveland will get it off the attempt to make that catch by Billups. He just couldn't haul it in. That was a tough pass.
It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, that's really tough pass.
Eichelberger out. Green in. Big Al checks out with 8 points, 3 assists.
And they'll get him a breather. They'll use Chris Green here for a few minutes, and they'll get Eichelberger right back in the game because he's just providing so many options for the offense right now where they didn't have any for so long.
Patton checks out for Cleveland State as well with 10. Oglesby replaces him. As we approach the 12-minute mark here in the second half, nobody has been up by more than 6. D'Moy Hodge with the basketball against the man-to-man. Here's Gomillion. Oglesby with an open look from the top. Right there, Alec Oglesby, who has really knocked down the triples these last couple of weeks, sinks his first one tonight. Vikes by 7.
Great shot by Oglesby. Great substitution by the coaching staff there to get him in that situation and run that play for him.
Here's Pipkins against Hodge, playing with 3 fouls. Green over on the help. He got a lot of ball, but apparently got part of Pipkins as well. Chris Green is called for the foul. That'll be his 2nd personal. It's the 3rd foul against Cleveland State in the second half, and we'll take a timeout with 11:32 to go in regulation. Cleveland State up 52-45 as you get a look at this last play and the foul on Chris Green.
You can tell this is really crispy, juicy, and tender because we wouldn't take the time to butter all these potato buns if it wasn't worth it. Introducing McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwiches.
Spring driving is here, and the countdown to luxury has begun at your local Cadillac showroom. Experience the iconic style and bold performance in a Cadillac sedan. Reward yourself, then move up to a Cadillac.
Get 0.9% APR for 72 months plus $1,000 purchase allowance on a 2021 Cadillac CT4 and CT5. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get an additional $750 purchase allowance.
Whoa, Susan.
Oh, I'm looking for coupon codes.
Well, Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies them. It's called shopping smart, not hard.
But I don't have a Capital One card.
You should get one, but you don't need it for this. Just download Capital One Shopping to your computer. It's free.
Ooh, save me some cheddar.
So, when's the party? I love fondue.
Really?
I never joke about hot cheese, Susan.
Me neither.
Capital One Shopping. It's kind of genius. What's in your wallet?
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 259, Saturday. A stacked fight card featuring 3 title fights. Blachowicz versus Adesanya.
You got champion versus champion.
Nunes versus Anderson.
This is the GOAT.
And Jan versus Sterling. New subscribers get UFC 259 and a year of ESPN Plus for only $89.98. With ESPN Plus, you'll get unrivaled UFC access, including exclusive fights and original content. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
You might see them as just flowers, but here, they're more than that.
Georgia.
They're an enduring symbol.
Georgia.
And this April, the azaleas are back at the Masters.
This basketball game in Cleveland has become entertaining in the second half. It was 28-27 in halftime. Mastodons. Alec Oglesby's attempted one shot today. There it is, all net just moments ago.
And that's I love coaching too, because they subbed him in just to get that shot off, and he made it. He made him pay.
You want to talk about a kid that spends a lot of time in the gym shooting? Alec Oglesby. I mean, a lot of kids on this team do that, but I see Alec all the time out shooting the basketball. He gets that three-pointer there. It's basically been Cleveland State's sixth man, as mentioned earlier, the last month or so.
Yeah, and what a time to step up. Sitting on the bench cold for almost the whole half. Come in and just drill a three, nothing but net.
Horton took an extra step, got away with it, and he gets called for the charge. So he ran over Eichelberger. Last season, Al Eichelberger led the Horizon League in charges taken. Since he's been healthy, he's done it again.
Now, I wonder, like if this was a playground, if Al would fall that easy. But he does exactly what he's coached to do. He takes the charge. He sells it. But again, can't say enough about this guy. He's doing it on both ends. He has been the X factor in the second half for the Vikings.
Subs coming in, so now it's Godfrey, Petty, Billups, Horton, and Pipkins for the Mastodons. Vikings with Oglesby, Beaudoin, Gomillion, Eichelberger, and Hodge. Cleveland State trying to build on their 7-point lead. It's their largest. As we approach the 11-minute mark here in the second half. Here's Oglesby for Beaudoin. The fade. Looked pretty good leaving his hand, but couldn't get it off the window. And Petty with another rebound. That's his 6th for the Mastodons as he's been cleaning up the glass for Purdue-Fort-Wayne. There's Pipkins using the screen. Billups, the floater. Petty, another rebound. That one he finishes off with the putback. 4 points for Petty, and Rob Petty makes it a 5-point game.
Well, we were wondering who would pick up Carl Slack, and Petty certainly is doing it.
Trey Gomillion with Oglesby here on the near side. Beaudoin.
Boy, Al Eichelberger didn't realize he could have posted up there. He had a bigger guy on him.
Hodge for the tough triple. Couldn't get that one. Petty, another rebound. 8 boards tonight for Rob Petty. Godfrey had an opening for a moment, but instead just went to the pump fake against Beaudoin in the man-to-man. And Billups simply dropped the basketball. It's a turnover for Purdue-Fort-Wayne. That's their 11th turnover tonight. Cleveland State's committed 10.
Well, and that's very fortunate as you watch this the beautiful rebound and finish by Petty here. He's brought in to be physical with Eichelberger. Looks like they're settling into a 2-3 zone right now, and that's why Woodrich is coming in the game.
Billups with 11 points checks out. He's their leading scorer tonight. He's replaced by Walker. Here comes DeJarnay back in as well. We'll take Petty's spot, who sits down with 4 points and a game-high 8 rebounds.
Trying to keep a fresh body on Eichelberger because he's been doing so much work for the Vikes.
Right now it's a man-to-man D for the Mastodons as we tick under the 10-minute mark here in the second half in Cleveland. Quarterfinal round of the Horizon League tournament. Oglesby, the good first step move. The jump pass found Baudouin for 3. That's off. Now the Vikings got a little cold as Eichelberger got the rebound and had it blocked out of bounds.
We just keep saying his name, don't we?
And Big Al's got his second rebound tonight, both on the offensive end.
That's why coaches love seniors. You know, they know it's coming to an end. They don't play well, and they just bring that extra little oomph, extra little effort.
Oglesby and Woodrich out. Hodge and Patton back in for Cleveland State. Pipkins checks out. Walker returns for Purdue-Fort-Wayne. Baudouin to inbound. Patton. Hodge. He can get up high. DeBoy Hodge with that bucket has 9.
I have to say, Cleveland State does as good a job as any team in the country at scoring on baseline out-of-bounds plays. They typically either score or draw a foul almost every time. They have some tremendous packages for scoring under the basket.
Walker trying to get free. He did off a screen. Gomillion on him now. Walker, the runner. Kept his own rebound alive, but Patton gets it and goes long to Hodge. Didn't have numbers, so he waits for help.
Good decision.
Now Baudouin at mid-floor against the man-to-man. Here's Hodge. He's played a strong second half, looking for that backdoor cut, but Gomillion saw he was covered. Then he came free again. Hodge looked like he got some contact there, but no call, as DeJarnay gets credited with the block shot.
Really doing a nice job of faking the screen as if they're going to screen for Eichelberger and then rolling right back to get the ball to Hodge in that scoring position.
Well, the Vikings didn't get the rebound. Walker missed the layup. He'll try again. Blocked. No call there either. Looked like some contact. Here's Baudouin flying ahead. Got to the rack. Blocked. Great block by Horton.
Oh, wow.
So he got that one out of bounds.
Horton came out of nowhere on that one.
That was a huge block shot.
It sure was.
Let's take a look at this again.
It's great. This is called not giving up on the play. Timed it perfectly. Wow. Just timed it perfectly.
Yeah, perfect timing indeed for Horton.
But there's Eichelberger getting the loose ball steal, kicking it up the floor.
That'll be on his highlight reel.
They really have to find a way, I think, to get the ball back to Eichelberger in the post.
He dribbles to the post. Got fouled as he passed it out. The double teamed. The foul is on DeJarnay. That'll be his first personal. It's the 6th foul against the Mastodons here in the second half. With 8:14 left, 54-47 Vikings. Here it is again.
That's a read by Eichelberger as well. Keeps his head up, steps through again. They don't have an answer for him right now. The Vikes would be smart to continue to go inside to him and get themselves in the bonus action a lot earlier than it looks like Mastodons will get there.
7-point lead for Cleveland State. Planutis back on the floor for Purdue-Fort-Wayne. And there's that inbound down low to Patton this time. He's got a dozen. Pat, you talked about the inbounds plays, and the Vikings have used them to perfection here tonight.
And it's always a different set. They don't work from 1 or 2 sets. They use multiple sets to do that.
Boy, what a great drive there by Pipkins, who went high off the glass. Pipkins with 6. It's Purdue-Fort-Wayne hanging around. 7-point lead for Cleveland State. 7:50 to go. Both teams now nearing 50% for the game for field goal shooting. Eichelberger from Hodge. Felt the double and dribbled out of it. Great lean in by Eichelberger. Couldn't finish, though. And the rounds collected by Billups. Pipkins.
Don't give him that much room. I think Hodge is giving him too much room out there.
Godfrey against Baudouin. Pipkins, the open look. Right you are as he nails the triple. Pipkins with 9. He's scored 5 consecutive points. And Purdue-Fort-Wayne has cut the 9-point lead down to 4 with a 5-point run. Baudouin went to the side like he was going to call time, and then Dennis Gates said, let's continue.
I think everybody in the gym thought they were going to call timeout.
7 minutes to play. A close ball game here tonight at the Wolstein Center. Here's Gomillion. Strong to the basket. Trey Gomillion has 9. The Vikings with their points of paint, they've got 36 to Fort Wayne's 24. That's been a big key tonight. Still, it's only a 6-point lead as Purdue-Fort-Wayne hit some big three-pointers, especially in the second half. They've hit 7 for the game. They're 7 of 19.
And the Vikes have switched into a 2-3 zone right now. Give a different look.
And now we've got a whistle and timeout.
There's a hold, I think, on Al Eichelberger down on the low block.
All right, so we've got a foul off the ball. It's on Eichelberger for the hold. That is his first personal foul. It's the 4th against Cleveland State, and now we have full timeout on the floor. Watch this inbound play again. Story Patton comes free late. Makes the great move, finishes it off 58-52 with 6:32 to go. Here at the Wolstein Center in Cleveland, quarterfinal round of the Horizon League tournament brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
We're looking to see.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any better than crispy, juicy, and tender, we went and added spicy. Introducing McDonald's new spicy, crispy chicken sandwich.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Find your rhythm, your happy place. Find your breaking point. Then break it. Every emergency gives you a potent blend of nutrients, so you can emerge your best with Emergency.
Spring driving is here, and the countdown to luxury has begun at your local Cadillac showroom. Experience the iconic style and bold performance in a Cadillac sedan. Reward yourself and move up to a Cadillac.
Get 0.9% APR for 72 months plus 1,000 purchase allowance on a 2021 Cadillac CT4 and CT5. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get an additional $750 purchase allowance.
This is Jim. He's working from home while keeping an eye on the kids, and he still had time to start his own bracket group. What's your excuse? Sign up at ESPN.com/bracket and start your group today.
This is star power from the jump.
This is the best of the bad gooders this kid.
Back here at the Wolstein in Cleveland. Cleveland State and Purdue-Fort-Wayne for the 5th time this season. First time, of course, Horizon League tournament. Cleveland State, the #1 seed. Purdue-Fort-Wayne pulled off an upset against Green Bay on Thursday, trying to do it again here tonight. They trail by 6. Alongside Pat Vianchik, I'm Al Pulowski. Great to have you along tonight. And what's become an entertaining game here in the second half. Purdue-Fort-Wayne will have the ball off the foul. The inbounder will be Godfrey. He's got Pipkins, Planutis, Billups, and Petty on the floor. Cleveland State with Gomillion, Hodge, Green, Patton, and Sanchez. Three-point attempt from the right sideline is just off from Billups. And the Vikings have the rebound with just over 6 minutes to play here in the second half of the Wolstein.
Hodge has had a really good second half for the Vikings, too, both ends.
We'll get it to Gomillion. Green coming up for the two-man game. He tried to go to Gomillion, did to Patton. Good hands by Bobby Planutis for the steal.
Long arm, stuck him in there, stuck those hands in there.
Godfrey against Sanchez. Hodge with the quick hands. Pipkins receives. Planutis. Godfrey. Cut off. Working around the perimeter. Pipkins, the open look from the top. Right there. Pipkins has caught fire in the second half. His second three-pointer of the second half. He's got 12 to lead Purdue-Fort-Wayne, and it's a three-point game with 5:30 left.
And that's just an example of a guy just not following the scouting report. Every time those three guys, we talked about that being their key, the three-headed monster, they can hit those threes. You have to close out on those guys and make them beat you on the two.
Chris Green working that offensive glass. He got stripped. And it'll be Cleveland State ball with 8 on the shot clock. So the Vikings now have gone a bit cold here these last few moments. As Baudouin comes back, Sanchez checks out.
So Green, just subbed into the game. just didn't close out far enough on Pipkins, and he made them pay.
Gomillion out, Woodridge in. Another sub coming, this time for Purdue-Fort Wayne. Carl with 4 fouls.
You have to be on a shooter by the time he catches the ball. And he was pretty deep. He was out there in Steph Curry land, but you still have to know that guy's capability, even if it's not the guy you would normally guard. And you have to make him do the opposite of what he's comfortable doing.
Patton drawing the contact. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. 7th foul of the second half against Purdue-Fort Wayne. And it's on Dylan Carl, and that's number 5. So Dylan Carl fouls out. Nobody else for Purdue-Fort Wayne has more than 1 foul. So Carl is disqualified with 2 points and a rebound. He played only 4 minutes.
Well, Torrey Patton, this is what he does so well, is puts the ball on the floor, uses his body to shield the ball. And he's been quiet, but he's the type of guy that in the last 3, we've seen Torrey Patton do this for several years now at Cleveland State. He's the type of guy that will step up in the last few minutes of a game and make a play.
So Carl is done. Benford is out tonight, so DeJarnay will come in to replace the disqualified Dylan Carl. For Cleveland State, Torrey Patton at the free throw line, 63% this year. But just over a month ago, he was at 47%. He has really picked up his free throw shooting of late. Tonight he has 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists in 31 minutes.
He's sure waiting a long time to get these opportunities.
And not many free throws tonight. Purdue-Fort Wayne 5 for 6 from the line. Cleveland State 3 for 4.
No, and it's been a clean game. I mean, the players have played cleanly. The officials have officiated a clean game. It's not because there have been missed calls or no calls. It's been a very well-played game.
And Torrey Patton gets that first free throw, even though he was perhaps frozen, as John Kaufman took all the time he could to replace his man that had fouled out. But Torrey Patton sinks it. So he's got a baker's dozen. Looking for 14 here, and a 4-point advantage goes to 5 as he converts. 5:13 to play. Vikings will play a full court 1-2-1-1 and look for the trap.
It's the famous Cleveland State press from the mid-'80s. To Diamond, back to a man, most likely.
Pipkins needs to get it across. Godfrey got it across just in time with a pass to Planutis for 3, and he nails it. Bobby Planutis has 12, his second three-pointer, and once again, the Mastodons have an answer.
And you are
60 to 58.
I mean, they got that over to beat that 10 count by a fraction of a second.
Purdue-Fort Wayne 9 of 22 behind the arc tonight. Their three-point shooting has kept them in it. Gomillion to Baudouin. 10 on the shot clock. Patton for the triple. Missed it wide left as the Vikings have gone cold from distance as they've missed their last 5 three-point attempts. Pipkins in the front court.
Probably should have gone back into Eichelberger in that possession. He didn't even get a touch.
DeJarnay against Eichelberger. He's given him plenty of space. Now Godfrey. Here's Planutis. Couldn't find that little opening. Pipkins does. And he stays hot. Gets the shooter's touch. And Purdue-Fort Wayne has the lead.
Yeah, I mean, he's shooting them from deep. You have to give him a lot of credit because those are not regular college threes. He's 4 or 5 feet beyond that line.
15 for Pipkins. He leads all scorers. 61-60. And an entry pass denied, but Eichelberger a tap to Baudouin. Now Hodge. Short shot clock as Gomillion spins in the lane. Got fouled and scores. Count the bucket for Gomillion. Cleveland State back on top. And when we come back from a timeout, Trey Gomillion will look for the three-point play at the line. He's got 11. He'll look for 12. And Trey with a big bucket here in the paint. But how about Jalen Pipkins? He's been the key for Purdue-Fort Wayne, a game high 15, but Trey Gomillion says I have an answer. Stay tuned as this one goes down to the wire in Cleveland.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any better than crispy, juicy, and tender, we went and added spicy. Introducing McDonald's new spicy, crispy chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
What do I smell? What colors do I see? What music is playing? When you walk out to the ring, there's nothing more important than confidence. So you gotta train your mind to protect it. I do that by focusing on what's around me, never letting the moment get too big. When that bell sounds, nerves are nowhere to be found. Confidence is half the battle when breaking through, so protect it. Train what's under the armor.
It's time for some straight talk. You've heard the old saying, less is more. Sorry, we don't buy it. Why can't more be less? More power, more speed, more money in your pocket. It is with iPhone SE and Straight Talk Wireless. The fully loaded iPhone SE is now at our lowest price ever, just $149. All on the best networks. It's something more to get excited about. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise.
You've got big plans for your small business, and Constant Contact's email marketing tools make it easy to stay connected with customers, so you can do more business online without the heavy lifting. Power on with Constant Contact. Try it free.
Here in Cleveland at the Wilstein Center, the Vikings, who had a 7-point lead a moment ago, saw that one reduced to nothing, and PurdueFortWayne took a 1-point lead. Then the Vikings with Trey Gomillion scoring the bucket and one coming. The officials are reviewing something here during the timeout with 3:41 to go. 62-61 the score. And they have reviewed so it'll be a three-pointer. They called a three-pointer and they reviewed it around the 5-minute mark. One of the Pipkins threes, and they've kept it at 3.
I haven't seen him anywhere near the three-point line.
They've been pretty far behind it, you're right. There was that one in the corner.
Okay.
But you're right.
The threes he's been hitting.
PurdueFortWayne now 10 of 23.
Oh.
So there's the one from the left wing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Bobby Planutis.
That was a big shot. Coach Gates
that one was
up
very
to
close.
Diamond in one press, hoping to change the tempo up and maybe get a quick steal or force the 10-second call.
Gomillion sinks that free throw. The Vikings 6 of 7 at the free throw line tonight. Trey Gomillion with a dozen. One of 3 Vikings in double figures. Vikings lead at 2 with 3:35 left, and Sanchez will hound Godfrey. Godfrey's trying to get Pipkins free, but Hodge not letting him come free.
Well, Hodge is face guarding him now. His responsibility is to not come off at all.
Godfrey in the lane. Left it short, the tip, no. Hodge got the rebound as he skied for it. It's rebound number 4 for Demoy Hodge. Just over 3 minutes to go. Progressive Insurance Horizon. The handle, and Cleveland State will maintain possession on the baseline as Baudouin returns and Sanchez checks out.
And again, I talked about this earlier in the first half that, it seems to me like some coaches just don't send enough guys the offensive boards anymore. They're afraid of getting beat in transition. Right there, Torrey Patton made a little extra effort to try to contest that rebound, and it resulted in a score, in another possession for the Vikes.
Here's Patton against Planutis. Eichelberger, triple teamed. Finds Gomillion, scores down the lane. That's what you teach every kid in youth basketball. When your man comes away and you find that lane, take it. Gomillion did. Eichelberger found him. Gomillion with 14. He's had a big second half, and the Vikings are up by 4. 30-second timeout for Cleveland State. So now both teams have 2 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, when the coaches go back and watch this film, both teams, they're going to focus in and say, look at every time the ball hit Al Eichelberger's hands, something good happened, either a pass, a score, or he drew fouls. He really has stepped up in the second half in a huge fashion for the Vikings.
65-61, Cleveland State has the lead over PurdueFortWayne, who has played well down the stretch. The 2 games they played against Cleveland State of the regular season, they split. And then in the tournament, they defeated Green Bay and are playing a whale of a ball game here tonight as you see Trey Gomillion, that big conversion there.
And I remember a couple of years ago when we were calling a Cleveland State game, Eichelberger always rushed his move. He would get the ball and he'd instantly turn and try to make a move. Now the seasoned veteran, he catches it, locates the defense, sees the double team coming, and makes the pass to the cutter. That's just a difference in experience.
Planutis, Godfrey, DeJournay, Billups, and Pipkins, the 5 on the floor for the Mastodons. Baudouin, Gomillion. Baudouin's out now. Gomillion, Eichelberger, Sanchez, Patton, and Hodge. Full court man-to-man. Godfrey has to work it up the floor against Sanchez. As we near the 2.5-minute mark. 4-point lead for the Vikings. Pipkins, he's been hot here in the second half. Godfrey trying to find an opening. Finds Planutis. Good pump fake. The drive. Lost the ball. Sanchez collects for Cleveland State. And now the Vikings with a 4-point lead will approach the 2-minute mark with the possession.
Down the stretch, 2 minutes or under, you want a basket or a foul on every possession.
Here's Gomillion. Calls for the backdoor. Hodge follows his lead. Couldn't score it off the window. Was halfway down off the bank shot, but popped out.
That sure was.
DeJarnay, another rebound. His third tonight. Now Godfrey in the front court. Godfrey on the drive. Godfrey fouled by Eichelberger. And they're going to probably call that an intentional foul. They're going to check it. Now Eichelberger just reached out and grabbed player. So that's the case. Be a couple of free throws coming. 65-61 Cleveland State with a minute 46 to go.
I'm not sure they're going to call it intentional. They may be trying to see if he was in the act of shooting. If he was going up into his shooting motion. I'm not sure if they called it, because that would be the 5th foul, so it'd be a ball out of bounds. But if they called him in the act, he'd be shooting a couple free throws here, so we'll see.
So the foul on Eichelberger is not in question. That's his second foul. It's the 5th against Cleveland State, as you mentioned, Pat, here in the second half. The Vikings have a 4-point lead, but Purdue-Fort-Wayne will benefit here.
Well, and there's an example of Godfrey, realizing, okay, he's got Jeremy Sanchez who's really working hard on him, but, he feels he's got enough confidence to make him pay for being over-aggressive, and he does there, draws the foul.
So we'll see what the determination will be as they continue to review. The winner of tonight's game will move on to the semifinals Monday night in Indianapolis. And the higher seed will play the earlier game on Monday night. So if it's Cleveland State, they would play at 6:30. If it's Purdue-Fort Wayne, they most likely would play in the later game.
Well, one of the things, that is being discussed, so it looks like he was in the...
And it's called a flagrant one because he grabbed and did not go for the ball. Okay. That's the correct call. 2 hands on the player. That's correct. That's a flagrant one. So that means 2 shots in the ball back for Purdue-Fort Wayne.
Yep. And then, you do the math, and of course, the way that these guys shoot threes, you just don't want to put that. You want to make sure they're 2 possessions down the stretch if you're the Vikings. And you give this Fort Wayne team credit. They were down 8, and all the momentum was going the Vikings' way, and they hit some big shots and making some smart plays down the stretch.
Godfrey with 2 free throws. He's 1 of 2 at the line tonight, but 83% on the season. Sinks the first one for his 8th point. He's just 3 of 13 from the field. But at the free throw line now looking to make his 3rd of 4 and cut the lead down to 2. And this one is right there. Well, you know what they always say, Pat, whenever you play a team the 5th time in college basketball, anything can happen.
Yeah, well, they're well coached too.
They are. John Kaufman's got his team right in this game.
John Kaufman, back-to-back years in his career, he beat Indiana. It's pretty big for Purdue-Fort Wayne to be able to do that.
Now Purdue-Fort Wayne can tie or take the lead. Pipkins to Planutis for the lead for 3. Just short. Rebound, though, is tipped. But Eichelberger collects. Boy, Purdue-Fort Wayne got a look they wanted with Bobby Planutis, a good 3-point shooter, and he just missed. Timeout Cleveland State. So now both teams have 1 timeout remaining. With a minute 32 to go, the Vikings have a 2-point lead. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, this one going down to the wire tonight.
Indeed. One of the things we need to look at is the foul situation. And whenever coaches go to timeouts like this, they talk about how many fouls against them, how many fouls against us, where can we take advantage. Right now, if Cleveland State gets fouled, they're shooting a bonus. And Purdue-Fort Wayne would need to pick up 2 more fouls to be shooting any free throws other than on a 2 or 3-point attempt. So that's a big factor. And then you have to talk about, which team is a better free throw shooting team. So here's the foul again. And you see Eichelberger grab. You have to go for the ball. You can't just grab a guy to stop his progress. So right now, they're going to try to run something to get the ball, score at the basket. On the other end, as you saw, Purdue-Fort Wayne will continue to fire those threes up. So Cleveland State will have to talk about closing out out hard on shooters.
Baudouin with the ball. Eichelberg, Patton, Hodge, and Gomillion on the floor with them against the man-to-man as we continue to play here in Cleveland. 2-point lead for the Vikings. Patton has had the ball in his hands in the second halves of close games all season. It's in his hands again with 5 to shoot. Gomillion. Torrey's going to have to pull the trigger for 3. In and out. Got the open look, but he couldn't get the basket. Pipkins the rebound with just over a minute to play. Here's Billups. He'll back it up. Godfrey, the playmaker.
No threes. Cleveland State has to close out hard and make them beat you with the 2.
Here's the drive by Pipkins.
Tie it at that
Good
point.
D by Hodge, but the rebound is taken by Petty. Got it out to Godfrey. Planutis. Billups wanted that 3, but instead drives. Got it over to Petty. Block and a foul on D'Moy Hodge. That is number 4 on D'Moy Hodge with 40 seconds to go. 6th against Cleveland State in the second half, and Rob Petty chance to tie the game with through line.
Well, he's only a 53% free throw shooter, so this is the guy the Vikings would have wanted to foul. And they did exactly what they're supposed to on the scouting report. They closed out hard on shooters. They did the math.
And Petty gets all net on that free throw. He's got 5 points, 9 rebounds tonight, and this next one to tie.
But they didn't have a chance to take the 3. And here's Al Eichelberger closing out and forcing them to only get a 2.
And we are tied in Cleveland with 40 seconds to go in regulation in the quarterfinal round of the Horizon League tournament brought by Progressive Insurance, who brings you the Horizon League Men's Basketball Championship. Cleveland State, the number 1 seed, and this is going to be a full timeout here for Cleveland State. Or rather, the Mastodons have called their final timeout. Cleveland State still has 1 remaining, so John Kaufman wants to set up his defense. But when you play a team 5 times, I don't care what happened during the regular season, Pat. That 5th time, there are really no secrets. You'd have to come up with something new. We've seen maybe a couple of wrinkles defensively from both teams. But for the most part, each team knows what the other wants to do. So now it just comes down to execution.
It does, and smarts and making free throws. As we saw there, a 53% Petty, a 53% free throw shooter hits nothing but net on both of them. And when when your poor free throw shooters are doing that, boy, it gives the team a lot of confidence. So Cleveland State is going to have to go on the other end. They were trying to get the ball inside to either Eichelberger or Gomillion in that last possession. The Mastodons did a tremendous job of defending the post feeds. I would imagine that they're going to try to do something else similar to that going down the stretch.
And by the way, Milwaukee's cut it down to 1 at the Nutter Center, 79-78 with 8 seconds to go. So close games throughout tonight.
Yeah.
And here's a look at Trey Gomillion.
He's one of the go guys. Torrey Patton's another one. This is the way that Coach Gates likes to preach and teach and see his guys play. Likes to see them score at the basket. My prediction is they'll look inside for either Gomillion or Eichelberger to try to pick up a foul or score at the basket.
Gomillion and Patton each have 14 tonight as the Vikings have the ball. Purdue-Fort-Wayne will get another opportunity, most likely here in regulation, regardless of what the Vikings do here in this tie game. Torrey Patton with the ball. Planutis on him in the man-to-man. Looking for Hodge, not available. 10 seconds. Here's Eichelberger to Patton. The shot from 5 feet is right there. Torrey Patton's hit big shots all season, and there's another. With 15.4 to go, the Vikings lead is at 2, and now Cleveland State will call their final timeout. It's a full. So let's see what Purdue-Fort-Wayne comes up with, as this basket by Torrey Patton will give him 16, a game high.
Well, I'm more interested to see what Coach Gates comes up with because, they're going to be talking – Purdue-Fort-Wayne's going to be talking about – winning this game. They don't want to go into overtime. They want to win with a 3.
Wright State was up by 18 at the half. They are going to overtime against Milwaukee down at the Nutter Center in Fairborn.
March Madness.
81 all. March Madness indeed in the Horizon League tournament. All the ball games are close. We saw some good games on Thursday. We're seeing even better games here tonight. It will continue in Indianapolis on Monday. And the Horizon League scoreboard. So the Vikes are up by 2 here with 15 seconds to go. Milwaukee and Wright State are tied at 81 heading to overtime. Oakland's up 62-54 on Youngstown State with 8 minutes to go. And Northern Kentucky won by 1 tonight over Detroit Mercy, 70-69. March Madness indeed.
Close action. I'm going to predict that Coach Gates is going to come out in some kind of an extended 2-2-1 just to slow their progress.
Let me ask you this. If you're John Kaufman, do you go for the 3 and the win, or do you look for the 2?
Yes, I think you go for the 3 and the win.
Who's your shooter?
It's got to be Pipkins. If you're just gonna try to go for the tie, Godfrey's gonna try to attack the basket and score. If you're going for the 3, it's gonna be they're bound to have Pipkins and Planunas right next to each other. So it's gonna hit one of their hands first. If they don't have it, they're gonna swing it to the other guy. They're gonna take the 3.
16 seconds on the clock. Shot clock is dark for the rest of regulation. Nobody has any timeouts left. Cleveland State's up by 2, but Purdue-Fort-Wayne has the ball. Godfrey, Pipkins, Petty, Billups, and Planutis on the floor. CSU with Patton, Eichelberger, Hodge, Gomillion, and Sanchez.
So Sanchez is put in the game just to do the best he can to make Godfrey work. And he shouldn't let him get the ball back if he's smart. And there he is. He's trying to deny him up the floor, make him work it, and take time off the clock.
Godfrey with 10 seconds. Behind the back dribble. Penetration. Has a lane to the bucket. Got there. Reverse layup is good. 6 seconds to go. No timeouts left. Cleveland State with a chance. Patton with 3 seconds. Patton with 2. Patton to the basket at the buzzer. Put it on the ribbon off. We're going to overtime in Cleveland. How about that? The top 2 seeds in the Horizon League both going to overtime in the quarterfinal rounds. The Vikings in Cleveland, the Raiders at Wright State.
Well, I was right on one end. Godfrey was going to attack and score. And you know,